Hello, everyone. It always surprises me when it suddenly turns to you're live. Welcome. I'm so glad to see all of you again. I hope it's warm where you are. It's a bit chilly where I am today, but that's to be expected in the wintertime in the Northern Hemisphere, in the north of the US or Midwest or wherever I am. Anyway, we're going to address two different viewers' questions because they kind of come together. So we're going to address their questions today, and I want to get started pretty quickly here because the answer is kind of complicated, I thought, and what amazes me is your questions. So if you have questions that are of a more of a general nature, please put them in the comments below. And by the way, thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. So put them in the comments below, or you can email them to me. You can go to my website and pick up my email address if you like. You can also give me a call, but I would probably ask you to write it down and send it to me. And then those questions that we're supposed to be looking at, that's what we look at for that week. And we come on every Friday about 1 o'clock to address your questions. I do ask that you keep the questions general. If you have specific questions for your life and you think they're not going to be of interest to anyone else, then please call me and we'll set up a session strictly for you. And you can get my phone number from the website. All of that's listed below. All right, so here we go. We're going to get going on these questions. And again, they're fascinating to me these questions that you have. Here are the two questions. Number one, as humans who honor traditions, how does that make sense in a spiritual world where change is the only constant and reality is the present? And the second question, if humans and spirits evolve and grow over time, or grow with time, does this mechanism exist in the pure spirit form without a human experience? Again, our first question is, as humans who honor traditions, how does that make sense in a spiritual world where change is the only constant and reality is the present? And the second one is, if humans and spirits evolve and grow with time, does this mechanism exist in the pure spirit form without a human experience? And it felt like these two belonged together, but I wasn't sure how. Well, hello, Annika. So good to see you. And she says, happy Friday and well weekend to all. So good to see you. And there's Judith who says good afternoon as well. So we're always happy to see all of you. I've got something on the screen here that's getting in the way. So hopefully that'll disappear. I don't know. Let me see if I can get rid of it here, because there's Juliet just came on and she says, hi, everybody. And I don't want to. And Johanna says, hello from cold Montreal. Oh, I bet it is freezing in Montreal because it was like 12 degrees here. It's been a long time since I've been to Montreal, but I loved it. And I don't speak French. I tried French in high school and it didn't really work for me very well. I'm terrible with speaking other languages. I can hear them, I can understand them. Sometimes I can even read, but somehow my tongue, I have enough trouble getting it around words I know. But so good to see all of you. Thank you for coming. Okay, again, I'm going to try real quickly to get rid of this. Well, it doesn't, it doesn't seem to be going away. So I'm going to just assume everything's okay and we'll move forward. Okay. Here's Philip's answer to these two questions. Hello, Carol from New Jersey, 18 degrees here. And Judith, who is in Florida, says, I would send you some warmth from sunny South Florida if I could. We would take it, believe me. I understand from clients that California is even a little chilly today. So, and actually my brother's in Palm Harbor, I believe, is where he lives. And he said it's cold there. He's not out playing golf because it's been a little chilly. So, Judith, I think you're closer to Miami, which is probably a lot warmer. Okay, here are the answers to these two questions. Again, the questions are, as humans who honor traditions, how does that make sense in a spiritual world where change is the only constant and reality is the present? And the second question is, if humans and spirits evolve and grow with time, does this mechanism exist in the pure spirit form without a human experience? Here we go. There are many parts to these questions, but both come down to one question. What is life about and why? And how is it played out in both the third dimensional human world and spirit world? That's the connection. I knew they belonged together. I felt that intuitively, but I didn't know what it was until we asked Phillip, and then he tells us what the answer is. So much wiser. Let us begin by, and Juliet, I think it was you who said one time, when he starts out, let us begin, it's going to be a bit of a lecture. So here we go. Let us begin by explaining the major differences between the two before getting into the specifics of the questions between spirit world and human world when he's referring to the two. As we directed you to write in your book, Life and Spirit World Continues. He's referring to this book, one of the books of mine, The Found Child. It is a novel. It says this is a work of fiction, or is it, as the tagline? But it does talk about, it's a journey through spirit world with this one. So that's the book he's referring to when he says, as we directed you to write in your book, Life and Spirit World Continues. The difference is the physical body is not needed and thought creates instantly. If one honors a tradition in human experience, such as a religious or ancestral tradition, they may choose to continue to partake of the tradition once in spirit world. This can be done by gathering with loved ones still in human form, or by gathering with loved ones in spirit world. If a spirit attends the human form, not all will be aware of their presence. This may affect the spirit, but not always. The effect is dependent on several factors, such as the length of time someone has been in the spirit world, how knowledgeable they are about their existence in spirit world, and such. I'm sure many of you have experienced the feeling of someone you love who has passed, not eons ago, but passed maybe a few years ago, and you felt their presence at your family dinners or at your family tradition of some sort. That's what I think Phillip is speaking of here. When one enters spirit world, connections are made immediately with members of the soul family, some of whom are also members of the same human families. Gatherings can be brought together to honor traditions. As they begin in spirit world, as the being in spirit world grows, there is less desire to continue traditions once held on earth. In spirit world, everyone chooses a job, which is enjoyed. There is also leisure time and time for study. To say, as in the question, that change is constant and reality is the present is an earthly view, not a spirit world understanding. Time and reality exist in the third dimension. Time in Earth's dimension exists for the purpose of structure and communication. Time, as it's humans known in Earth world, does not exist in spirit world. And reality with a question mark. What is reality really? And then he chuckles at that. And reality, question mark. What is reality really? Question mark, chuckle. Reality is what you create and experience in your mind. Your reality is not the same as your neighbor's. This you are aware of in spirit world. So the thoughts of what is real, what is reality, has no relevance in spirit world. Other words, what is our reality, your reality and my reality may not be the same. But in spirit world, that's not even a question of what's reality, because we recognize in spirit world, we're creating it We can't really understand spirit world from our dimension. He goes into that, but it's, imagine you're creating everything as you think it, and nothing is permanent. So there really is no reality. There is no yesterday or tomorrow. It's all right now. And that's a hard concept as humans to really grasp. We can get it intellectually. And, well, let me read. The human mind in its form is unable to comprehend that all is in the present. There is no past or future. This can only be understood in spirit world, and even then only after study. As we have said, the finite mind cannot comprehend the infinite. The closest a human may come is during what you call a peak moment, when only that experience of the moment exists. I have had those moments where I recognize everything this is it. This is everything is happening at this moment. There is nothing else. It is all right now. And I can't comprehend how I experience that. I can't really even explain it other than on an intellectual level, because there are no words, and words do seem to diminish the experience. And I'm guessing that many of you out there have had similar experiences. It's like a flash of the moment that lasts forever. Phillip goes on to say, there are spirits within the vastness of the universe that will never have a human experience. They may choose to stay in spirit form or choose a form other than human, or they may choose to stay pure energy. Those who choose human form do so for the experience, which is then taken back to the world of pure energy, for the experience of all who wish to partake. Whether in human form, another form, or in spirit world, all is connected. What you experience in whatever form you choose, you continue that story until you don't. You begin in love with a capital L, and you return to love with a capital L. In between, you are also love with a capital L. You often forget to remember. Remember. I'm going to repeat these last couple of paragraphs. Those who choose human form do so for the experience, which is then taken back to the world of pure energy for the experience of all who wish to participate or who wish to partake. Whether in human form, another form, or in spirit world, all is connected. What you experience in whatever form you choose, you continue that story until you don't. You begin in love and you return to love. In between, you are also love. You often forget to remember. Remember. We're pure love. All we have to do is remember that. Is that easy to remember? I don't think so, especially in our times of turmoil. I think it's hard to remember that we are pure love. But my friends, we are pure love. Remember. Let's get a message, shall we, from Phillip. I found out only recently, one of our friends in the United Kingdom, in the UK, asked if I could send her one of the books. And so I called my publisher and I said, can you mail off one of the books to this address? Because what's wrong? She tried to get it through Amazon, and Amazon said they can't ship to the UK. Amazon ships to the UK all the time. What's going on? Well, when I talked to the publisher, they said because of the cost of postage shipping overseas, they no longer ship overseas. So I went to the local post office, who told me that I'd have to go to a bigger post office because they don't even ship overseas, that she can't do it, that it's gotten, I guess, very complicated. So in the meantime, and I'm checking FedEx and there's nothing around me. So I'm trying to find a FedEx store and can't find it. And Debbie comes in and says, "Hi, everyone." Hi, Debbie. Welcome. So and the other books I have, like this one I mentioned earlier about talking about Spirit World, a trip through Spirit World with this particular character. This one does well in an ebook. This one is also available in an ebook, but it's a little bit more difficult. But what you can do in my client in Julia in the UK is going to try this out and see if it works. And I know others of you have done just the ebook. What I suggested is come up with a page number and then use your Kindle or whatever ebook you use, iPad or whatever, and then just open to that page, and that would be your answer. She's going to try it out and see if it works. And she had a different method, and I didn't quite understand her method, so she's going to explain that one to us and see how it works. In the meantime, we're going to use the print book here in the US, and I do apologize to my friends overseas or in Australia or wherever you're trying to get this book. I don't know what's happened to the US Post Office, but that's a political thing. I'm not even going to go there. So here we go. We're just going to open to this page, and I'm hearing right. So if you heard right, our intuition is in sync. If you heard left, that's a message you need to hear. So pay attention. Here's our message. No one but you can be you. No one but you can be you. So be your very best you. Love yourself. I think if the only thing we really learn to do in this life is just that, love ourselves. Because as Phillip tells us here, you begin in love and you return to love. In between, you are also love. You often forget to remember. Remember. And he also told us in the paragraph before that everything we experience, we're experiencing that for everyone, for all beings, in all planets, in the universe, including spirit world. So love yourself. That means you'll also love a lot of other people. Love, we are love, Judith says. Yes, and she puts the love in caps, LOVE in caps, and we are love. Yes, we are. If you heard left, this is a message that you need to pay attention to. An open hand can hold no weapon. An open hand can hold no weapon. And doesn't that go out with our message this week that yes, there are times we want to get angry. And I'm not saying don't get angry, but I'm saying look at what the anger is about, because it's always about us. The other person is just the trigger. They might even be a soulmate. One of my books, 23 Days of Celtic Journey, I think it's out of print. We're going to do a second edition. But it is about my heart being broken open, and broken open for more love. But it took a while to learn that. So remember, an open hand can hold no weapon. So let's open our hands to each other. And by the way, you've heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it again. Love is an action verb, but love does not mean the absence of boundaries. Love yourself. No one but you can be you. So my friends, love yourself. And in loving yourself, open your hand to others, but have boundaries. I love you, my friends. I'm so excited to see so many of you coming on the live, being able to make it live. That's so much fun. Thank you. And 18 degrees in New Jersey and Montreal. Oh, I can't imagine how cold it is in Montreal. Burr, and then Judith down in Florida. She's all toasty warm. So good seeing all of you. I'll have to think of my Montreal stories. What I do remember is I had been, before getting up to Montreal, because I was on a driving trip. A couple of us were driving together. And I remember when I got to Montreal, it was so busy with traffic. And here I'd been, coming through New Hampshire and the White Mountains in, I believe, Vermont and up in Maine, and then going on up over into Canada and up into Montreal. And I was like, oh, too much traffic. And I was just frozen for a little bit until I adjusted to all the traffic. It was so busy, but I remember delicious, delicious food. And the people were very proper and very, very nice. So I enjoyed my time there. It was a beautiful area. So I recommend visiting it. Been to Ontario, but again, it's been a while, several times, and been up in the lakes area. So anyway, love Canada. Love our friends in Canada. They seem right now, Canada seems more sane than the US. So not that you weren't before, but just right now, I think those of us in the US are even more aware of the sanity, the good sanity of our northern neighbors. So thank you for being there to help balance and steady the disruption in the US right now. All right, my friends, that's all for now. I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you for your questions and spreading the word. We love you. VB, snowy here in Ohio. Yeah, I was getting flakes. I'm between Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, in that area. And I'm west of Columbus, north of Dayton, south of Toledo, out in the middle of the rural areas. And we were getting snowflakes, just a little blowing around, but nothing was sticking earlier. And yesterday it was 40 degrees. Today it was 12. All right. Good to see you, VP. Well, hello, Wendy. Good afternoon. Glad you could make it. Good to see you. Gosh, this is exciting to see so many people coming on. I hope our questions this week are exciting to you. I look forward to more questions. We have some in the queue that we will still get to, but please feel free to send your questions in. I'm not always sure. I don't always answer them this as they come in. I put them in the queue, but we may skip around. Like we have two different questions here that came in at different times, and that's just kind of like what needs to be answered in the energy right now. Also, next week we will do the February predictions. Phillip will give us those predictions, what to expect in February. And my sense is right now it's going to be quite a month. We'll see what that means. Thank you all. I love you so much. And I love that you're able to come live. Until we meet again, my friends. Thank you. Bye for now.